Well, I just got back from seeing Power of the Daleks in theater with Andrea. I'm back at home right now. It does the fact that our doors TARDIS blue. We're not that big of fans. It was that way when we got here. So, Doctor Who, Power of the Daleks. What's it all about? Well, we'll talk about it really briefly. As any serious Doctor Who fan knows, the Doctor has regenerated, changed face, changed actors. The first time that happened was when William Hartnell left the show and was replaced by Patrick Troughton. That first story, most of it has been lost. There's a little, some stills, a little bit of footage, but this is a 6-part episode that doesn't really exist on video. And essentially, fans, if you wanted to hear it, you listen to the audio, and they've had the soundtrack out. I've listened to it twice. So, when it got released, I had to go and see it. Now, watching it on the big screen, there's not a whole lot that makes you say, this is a story you have to see on the big screen, unless you're a massive fan of it, which I am. So, this is the first story. It's the first regeneration, and of course it features the Daleks, and there's more to it than that. I guess, like I said, in terms of the reconstruction, the animation, which was based on the pictures they had, I think it was solid. It's not spectacular, but it is very good, and it's extremely well directed. Because they get just the perfect pictures, the perfect views of the actors to really capture and bring home the emotion. And there's a lot in here. The only part I thought they cheated on the animation was a little bit on the regeneration stuff, because it seemed like Patrick Troughton animated version was just right into his outfit without really having to, go and change. He had the bow tie right from the start. So that kind of threw me a little bit. But that was pretty much the only hitch in terms of that. Because this story it's a regeneration story, and it's a Dalek story. And it is an incredible Dalek story. But it's also just this incredible story about power. Because when the Doctor arrives on this planet, he discovers this planet Vulcan, and I did clarify, Andrea asked, no relation to Star Trek. But when he lands on this planet Vulcan, he discovers that a scientist has found a Dalek ship, and it's full of inactive Daleks, which the scientist tries to find a way to bring to life because he thinks he can use them. And at the same time, there's all this drama going on the planet, where you have the governor trying to hold his position and not wanting there to know that there's any problems, a rebellion trying to overthrow the governor, suspicion on the deputy governor, and you have the security chief who's off doing his own thing. And each of these different groups and individuals thinks they can use the Daleks to their own end. But it doesn't quite work out that way. There are so many rich, well-written characters, incredibly well-textured. It really does show when classic Who can be at its best. And I know there are a lot of people out there, they only watch New Who. If it was made before 2005, forget about it. And there are reasons for that it's just not comfortable, and sometimes it's the pacing. Because there are episodes of Doctor Who where it's going to be padded out. Where you're dealing with 6 25-minute episodes and it doesn't really go anywhere. Andrea and I just watched Web Planet, which was kind of like that. Power of the Daleks is the story that illustrates when classic Who can be at its absolute best. And when that is when it's telling a story that's worth telling, it has space to tell it. And this is the best example. All of these complex relationships and dynamics, all these plots and subplots, these threads and intrigues, all working together throughout the story to come together in the final conclusion. It really is just fantastic drama. It is very well written. Before I saw it, just from hearing it, I think it was one of the best Doctor Who stories done in the classic era, or even since, just the way that it is structured. But seeing it, it's just a great story, and the animators did a fantastic job bringing it to life and giving it the treatment it deserves. So if you're into classic Who, it's something that is a must-see to really get a feel for the texture of it. If you're not so much into it, this is a story that can illustrate why there is a lot of classic Who that's worth watching. It's just great drama, and it really does go deep and it's, I have to say it was pretty remarkable at the time to kind of be dealing with these deep themes of good and evil and power in your first story. It would be like if the first story the 12th Doctor had was the Zygon inversion. This one, it's got a lot going on. It's great drama, and I was pleased to see it, and I hope somebody gets it for me on DVD one of these days. All right, that's all for now.